Every day I be bumping through the town, I be been blowing on loud, I be being hot in a motherfucker. And I ain't never coming down, I be bumping through the town, I be been blowing on loud, I be being hot in a motherfucker. And I ain't never coming down, I be I've been blowing on loud, being hot in a motherfucker, never coming down, I be I've been blowing on loud, being high than a motherfucker, never coming down,
It worked. I had to want to see if that was going to work. Hey, it's Gonzo with the Looking Glass. I'm gonna wait for some people to get on here. Wasn't sure if I was going to do a show today or not, but I decided I'd go ahead and knock one out just for anybody that may tune in. And I decided to do it on a conversation I had earlier, but I'll wait for some people to get on before I start talking. Don't want to waste no time. Put together that new intro that I'm working on. It's coming out alright. I kind of like it. I think I might go back to it real quick. Let me just play it one more time.
Every day I be bumping through the town, I be been blowing on loud, I be being hot in a motherfucker. And I ain't never coming down, I be bumping through the town, I be been blowing on loud, I be being hot in a motherfucker. And I ain't never coming down, I've been blowing on loud, being high than a motherfucker, never coming down, I've been blowing on loud, being high.
What's up, Ernie? Checking out my new intro right there. Been working on. What's up, Davina? I don't know if you're still there or not, but I just figured I'd do a show today. I'm going to talk about a phone call I had earlier. I had a vet reach out to me today, which I'm assuming was a reputable vet, a well-known vet. Kept dropping accolades on me left and right, which is very pretentious. If you're going to talk about things you've done, there's a way you can do it without sounding so pretentious, and this person was not nailing it. I'm not going to say no names because, like I said, I believe that they are well-respected, apparently. I've never heard of them, but they know a lot of friends that I know. What up, Ernie? Hey, you coming through on New Year's? But like I was saying, so she hits me up. Oh, I'm sorry. The person hits me up about the panel that I'm going to do with the sociologist and the psychologist, and, you know, helping them figure out how to deal with soldiers and combat vets. This person does a lot of public speaking and apparently has a lot of influence or reach over veterans. Again, I've never heard of them. But they yep, party at the house. So anyways, the person hits me up and is like, hey, you know, I want to talk to you about the panel you're gonna go through, blah blah blah. Let's talk about some treatments, this and that. You know me, I'm open for whatever. I'm always down to listen to something and give it a fair shot. Well, the person contacts me and we start a discussion, and we find out that we served in a similar area. We were from a unit that was close to mine in Europe together, same times, deployed same times. Anyways, they were very convinced in their methods and the way that they deal with treatment. What's up, Chad? Hey, what are you doing tonight, Chad? Me and Jazz looking for something to do after this. We might come by and see you and the girls. But anyways, the person hits me up, and So we started talking, and the person was a former military police, so I already knew there was going to be some sort of attitude. But we spoke about my cannabis use. Obviously, it comes up. They had brought up the fact that they're highly anti-cannabis, blah blah blah, and I was like, well, that kind of sucks because I'm very pro. So then they started throwing all this probiotic, some stuff, medical research, blah blah blah. You know me, I don't like all that medical crap. I think it's a bunch of nonsense. But I heard it out, and it confused me. So I asked my questions, and I got met with, "You're not listening, and you're not understanding," and a lot of you statements, a lot of badgering statements. But then when I would retort and I would come back at something, uh, I got the whole, oh, are you demeaning a veteran? Are you going? No, I'm demeaning a dumbass idea that was presented stupidly. That's what I was demeaning. I was demeaning the veteran itself. They could have done better. But I hate when people see. That's the exact reason why I started the show, was to tell vets like that to suck it up, to man up. No, I wasn't attacking you as a veteran or your service. I was attacking your stupid ass idea that you're trying to pitch to me and trying to get me to sell somewhere. And don't try to hide that under veteran status. Don't be like, oh, I'm a vet that's doing this and that and this and that for vets as I try and sell something. That's not trying to be a battle. That's not trying to help people out. That's trying to further your agenda. And I'm not with it. And if you can't convince me on why I should use whatever it is that you're telling me about, or if I should speak on whatever it is you're telling me about, I'm not going to. You know, I speak from experience, and I speak from what I know. I don't go off of what people have told me or what somebody's paying me to say, or nothing like that. So this person obviously didn't know me from the next person. And they kept trying to tell me, calm down, that I needed to look at other perspectives and that I needed to be more open-minded. And I had to remind them, if they forgot, that, you know, my bachelor's degree in sociology is exactly that. It's just a degree in perspectives and how many others there are. But so I was really frustrated, especially the fact that that person has, if what they were saying is true, influence over a large number of veterans, and is really just helping keeping them in the system. You know what I mean? Keeping them broke so that they got to keep going back to the VA and being like, oh, I'm still having problems. You know, and to me, you know, they asked about, you know, my thoughts on treatment and such, and they kind of put it to where it was like, well, if you go to this certain place and you do this treatment and you try this and you still want to smoke your weed, then by all means have at it, but at least then you've tried everything and you have the guarantee. Well, that would infer that I'm not doing well, that I'm struggling right now with my issues or whatever what it may be, and that's not the case. So I got really confused on why they were even coming at me. So I hung up on them. That's one thing that we need to realize that we have the power over, is we can end conversations just as well as we can start them. So I used the end button, and they hit me back talking about, did you hang up on me? All surprised. Yes, I did. I hung up on the ignorance. I'm not going to sit there and entertain it and waste my time and energy trying to talk circles around with somebody who is going to continuously find themselves right back at the same point. Yeah. But that's just me. These little bastards. Look at these dudes. These guys are tight. And they're ready to go. I need them out of my house because they're getting loud and ridiculous. Even some don't even like them. Look at. What are you dummies doing? Oh, you noticed. Anybody needs a dog, y'all can get them. Right? Hey, them things ain't puppies, man. Them mugs are full-grown beasts. Look at them. Man, what y'all doing? Get in trouble? Mm-hmm. Yeah, y'all be quiet now. So, but yeah, Ernie, on New Year's we're gonna have a little get together, have a little party, bring your own substances, whatever you choose to do, whatever. I care, bring it. I hope everybody had a good holidays, whatever that means to you. That gets real old to me too on holidays, and everyone wants to force their opinion or their religion or their thoughts of what a holiday should be like on you. Like, just because that's what you feel holiday is, and what everybody feels it is. Oh, they get into it. No, you don't talk to Sandra. You tell Sandra. You say, "Look, we're going to a party." That's how it is. She don't want to come anyway. She likes hanging out. And the kids will just like, I don't know, shove them under the bed or something. Checks out. Look at these guys. Did I go down and see my daughter? No, I actually, I got my daughter right now. I got her, I got her the day after Christmas, and I'll have her till a little bit after the first, and it's nice. I mean, she grew like, I don't know, it's ridiculous. She's like this big. She's almost as tall as me, almost as quick as me too. She's got a quick little mouth on her, but she's not quite as fast. I got the puppies back here circling each other and trying to get ready to fight over some, I don't know what. And it was a trip too last night. I had my buddy that had got one of the tricolors from last litter. He stopped by last night with the puppy and got to see Summer and stuff. And it was a trip. Summer was so excited, man. She wouldn't stop moving. You could tell she knew that was her puppy. You know what I mean? Like, and you could tell the puppy recognized Summer. He recognized like the house. Like you could tell the way he was smelling around everything and everything. Unfortunately, Tank didn't recognize him. We had to separate Tank because Tank was ready to tear his head off because he just seen another male dog. Dog's 6 months old, already bigger than Summer. Yeah. So I'm thinking about taking the show and going to a podcast, which would basically be like a solo podcast where I would just do whatever content I felt like, whenever I felt like it, and putting it out instead of a scheduled weekly thing. So that'd be cool. Hopefully it'll give me more time to build better shows and have less draw time. Like this, where I really got nothing to talk about. Like I said, I just came on to shoot the shit. It's something to do with the smell. I mean, they I don't know. It's the first. I think it's the first sense that they smell. It's the first. So they'll always kind of remember that, I guess, because they do. It's weird. Dogs have short-term memory. Like they don't remember things that long. That's why they'll screw stuff up and then look at you like, "Why are you so mad?" 2 minutes later. But they will remember like their parents. They still remember that stuff, and it's I don't know. It's weird. Their life cycles are a lot faster. So by the time the puppies are a couple weeks old, it's like their teenagers are ready to them. But they're definitely in there tearing stuff up right now. They just passed 3 weeks old. They're already eating soft food. They're already eating, like, they're ready to go, man. I'm ready to get them out the house. I wanted to keep them the other night until they all started making noise, and then now they gotta go. So, moral of the story that I was telling earlier is this person called and they took about an hour of my time and we talked in circles, and they basically just stated how they disapproved of my use of cannabis, but it was okay because they didn't disapprove of me using it. They just disapproved of it being used as a treatment, and which is hypocritical as shit. But also they were telling me that they just really felt like I should take this treatment, which that's one of my issues with prolonged therapy is that don't look for a problem where there isn't. This person was trying to tell me I needed treatment for what? I was doing just fine. Um, and it was kind of insulting. So I don't really understand where they're going with it, but it's people have gotten so narrow-minded, and that's what scares me about somebody who's making their living off of speaking for truth. Because if you're making your living off of it, you're probably speaking with some sort of agenda. Um, so I don't know. I gotta watch those. Yeah, they were pushing some sort of big farm. It wasn't necessarily big farm. It was some sort of science and engineering or something. I don't know. They were trying to fancy up and dance around and say that it was something other than, a treatment facility and medications. They kept bragging about how they didn't specifically use medications, and which is great, and they kept trying to validate themselves through experiences or achievements, saying, oh, I've done this, and because of this I can say, or which say what you're going to say and I can see through your bullshit, so there's no need to validate. I didn't feel like I was, well, why are you saying that, or where's this coming from, or nothing like that. When they told me they wanted to speak with me, I simply said, let's take it to voice, so that way there's no misunderstanding and there's no miscommunications, through text. And it became very insulting and directed, and they kept acting like it wasn't because of what they would say afterwards. It's kind of like one of those, with all due respect, I'm gonna smack you in the face. But I said with all due respect, so I mean, what's the problem? And they just didn't get it, and they kept getting insulting. And then when I hung up, it was funny because it was like, they actually messaged me, did you hang up on me? And I'm like, absolutely. Like, I'm not going to entertain the ignorance any longer. I'm not going to keep talking in circles to get to the same exact place that we were at. It's going nowhere. Like, what's the point? Go ahead, and, when that's all they want to do is sit there and turn on me and say that they're keep telling me to calm down, and I'm like, I'm very calm right now. I'm monotone. Like, you're the one that's all excited and keeps telling me to calm down. Just because you're the first one to say calm down doesn't mean that you're in the right or you're the one that's calmer. Like, saying listen doesn't make people listen. And the funny part is speaking slower tends to make people move faster, though. So there's that. Like, if I tell you hurry up and I'm very angry, you're gonna move faster. But the end of the day, they couldn't get it. They couldn't grasp it, and it's been bothering me all day because they sat there and they tried to tell me that I was demeaning a veteran, which, like I said, I wasn't demeaning the veteran. I don't demean their service. I don't doubt what they've done. However, I demean the conversation we had and the ignorant ideas that were halfway provided in such. So it was frustrating because it makes me think, people, I don't really care what people say, but when people make assertions or try and say that I am being some way, I do take that into consideration. I do sit there and think about it, whether I let people know or not. and reevaluate, was I being narrow-minded? Was I not listening to their side? Was I being overly opinionated? Because we both were very opinionated. We're both very strong in our stances. However, I get what they were saying, and I know that there's plenty of different treatments for people. We could be in the same situation and see it completely differently, based off our past experiences. So, with that being said, there's no way you can say that just for a certain type of trauma, there's going to be a certain type of treatment, and that's it. Because it's going to be different for everybody. And that's not what I was saying at all. But they were trying to say that I was making these big, broad, blanket assumptions, which I wasn't. I made some generalizations, yes, but whatever. What works for him may not work for you or me. Yeah, and that's true. I mean, but it was like they kept saying, oh, well, I'm doing this thing, but I can't really disclose everything to you because you didn't sign some disclosure agreement. And I'm like, the last time I got asked to do that, I was doing some shady shit for the military. So if you're telling me I need to sign some sort of disclosure and you're here to help vets, what big secret are you trying to keep? What if that's how you're making your living, so you're trying to provide a product and you're trying to keep it hush-hush because you're not trying to help people, you're trying to profit off people. And that's foul. You know what I mean? Like, if you're really trying to help people, then you spread the word and you get it out there and you make it available. You don't sit there and wait and keep a hush hush and let people keep off of themselves and going through all this depression if you have what it takes to fix people. That's a greedy, selfish person. And then don't pose as helping people because what? You mean like if you're really that bad off, then you're getting your pension from the VA, you should be all right. And they tried to tell me that the VA backlog was all on us, all on the troops. That or no, that was all on the VA. I'm sorry, that it was all on the VA. That the VA was responsible for the whole backlog, and that troops had no responsibility. And I said, well, what about the troops that sit there and go 10 years, say nothing's wrong, and then upon exit of the military, they want to come in and say, hey, now all of a sudden I got PTSD from that shit that happened a couple years back. My back's bad, my knees are hurting, I'm falling apart. But the last 10 years, every period, like a health assessment you've had, you said you were completely fine. Why would the VA not be hesitant about that? It's hey, you got to help them help you. You can't sit there and say they don't help you when you never gave them any issues until the last minute. They're going to question that. They're going to be skeptic about it, and they should be. And I was fortunate enough to have good leadership who took us right when we got back and said, we're all going to mental health, and I'm be the first one. And he led the way, and he made it okay for us to get treatment. And that's why we started getting stuff documented, because he told us, when you get out, you're going to want this stuff documented. It's not going to bother you now, but when you get out, you're going to want it. I know mine got held up for a while, not because of documentation. I actually had very well documented medical history. It was due to my legal stuff. But either way, I got stuck in that system for a good 18 months, and I seen that I could have helped it out in certain areas, but I didn't, and I paid for it later. But too many guys don't do anything about it, and then they just sit there and cry and go, why isn't the VA helping me now? They need to help me right now, right now, right now. And it's just like, dude, if you'd had your stuff in order, if you had your ducks in a row, maybe they would. And like I said, I've always said I can't complain about the VA much because I don't utilize them nearly as much as I should. But these dudes are funny. They start picking on each other. And if you read your paperwork, it tells you in there how to get a higher rating if you're not satisfied with your rating. It says that you got rated for this condition for whatever reason at this rating due to having this many occurrences of this so many times a week. But if you had X amount of them this many times a week, then you would be bumped up so many %. And if it goes down to this, then you'll be reduced down because you're getting better. So, it literally tells you in your paperwork how to get your ratings up to where you want them to be, or you feel that they should be. And people still want to sit there and cry and whine and want somebody to do everything for them. I've heard so many times, well, I didn't know. Well, ignorance is not, anybody's been in court, judge will tell you, ignorance is not, a defense. You can't just say you didn't know and it's okay that, you're going to get off because you didn't know it was against the law. It doesn't work that way. And it doesn't work that way with your benefits. They're not going to sit there and give you back pay or say, oh, here's all the stuff that we owe you because you didn't know. They're just going to laugh at you. You go through all these briefings when you get out. You sign all this stuff stating that you understand everything, stating that you get your stuff. So don't go back later crying about it. But that's the victim society that we've created, and that's the type of motivational speaker that person was catering to, and I just won't do it. And then people always get so mad when I won't agree with their point of view. Like, I don't get upset about people not seeing my point of view. I just feel sorry for them being wrong. But I don't get mad about it. Oh, you're making a break. Yeah, you better run. What? Documentation. See, now you're talking about like our uncles and aunts and stuff having to have documentation, man. That ain't right. They be kicking people out for that stuff. Puppy going, It's for 8:30. Yeah, so I don't know. I got my daughter here, so I just wanted to jump on, like I said, and talk a little bit. And like I said, I think I'm gonna take it down to a podcast to where I haven't figured it all out yet, but I'll have more time, less shows, and less people to answer to, which I don't really have many now. These guys are funny. You got your passport? Oh, look at you, show off. Got a passport. I got one too. It's all stamped. I just can't get a new one. They tend to frown upon being a federal felon or something like that in the passport. Who knew? Which I don't get. What being a felon and having a passport has to do with anything. Like, why would they not want me to leave the country? Maybe I'll get kidnapped or something while I'm gone. Yes? Oh, I just seen somebody calling OMG, so I thought they were calling me. But, not oh my Gonzo, I guess it's oh my God. Huh? What's up, puppies? Oh, he's gonna jump on. These guys are little jerks, man. They sit there and attack each other, and they sneak up on each other. And when one's asleep or two's asleep, the other ones will just come up and just mess with them and just keep them messing. They even got my daughter in here yelling at me. When can you go to Norway? Why are you wanting to go to Norway? Don't nobody want to go to Norway. Norwegian. Alright, so yeah, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna go be with my daughter. Y'all take care. Hey, see you on the 1st, or the 31st, should I say. It should be a good time. Alright. Appreciate you.